Hello, this is the Tradesight US Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Tuesday, the 18th of August, 2015. Hope you're having a good week so far. It was a very light session on Monday, back to that 1.3 billion NASDAQ shares that we saw on Friday, which was incredibly light. We'll look at how bad that is in a minute. This now is the week that is pretty much the biggest vacation summer week of the year, so don't be surprised if things are slow all the way to the end. And remember Friday's options expiration on top of it. It's also likely we won't get much of an options unraveling move. There's just not enough options positions out there probably, but we will play it as normal and see what happens. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are the more exciting days. I may take Friday off outside of the first hour myself. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract daily chart. Still sitting in that range we've been in. After bouncing off that 2062.50 last week once again. Not much new to say here. Let's look at the cash. S&P cash up 10. Not much there. NASDAQ side NDX was up 35. That puts it back above the 10 EMA. I got the SOX up 6. That puts it still below the 10 EMA. We got biotechs up 80, right at 10 EMA. Google curled back up 5 points almost for the session, near a new closing high on the stock. Apple up $1.20, rebounding since that new low down at 110 back on Thursday. The VIX retreated, closing just around 13, down 19 cents for the session. Crude oil down again, down 62 cents to 41.87. That is a new low close for crude oil for the last many, many years. Gold up $4, not a big deal there. The trend gave us a 0.79 close. A couple of those higher points on the trend are dropping off the moving average, so the moving average is now 1.02. That's the 10-day moving average that we look at. And the advanced decline ratio, 653 net positive on the NASDAQ. Friday was about the same, so we're at least seeing more stocks up than down. But let's look at this volume number again. Not quite 1.4 billion. It was really 1.3 at the close. There were some prints after. So again, lightest volume of the year. But this is, it's August. Let's take a look. Let's scoot this back and look at last August. Remember, here's the second, right in the middle of your chart there. You can see the last 2 weeks of August really just drift down. That's it. People go on vacation. You get into that options expiration week. So, this is almost a parallel to what we saw last August. I will point out we actually had better volume in the first 2 weeks of August than we did in July. And that's unusual because look at last year. July was clearly on average better. But look at that the blue line's the 10-day moving average. Take a look at that, where that got to last August. The 10-day moving average got down to 1.3 by the end of August. And then you come back in September and you've got Labor Day and magically everything's back to normal. And look, by October, we were averaging 2.2 billion shares. So that's the exciting part of the year, always volume-wise, coming back after you get past that and get into the federal budget stuff and everything else. So right now, our 10-day moving average of volume is still 1.7. But we are, if we see volume like we saw last year for the next week or so, obviously that number is going to come down. All right, let's take a look at the intraday charts just to see what we saw in the futures. Here's the 5-minute, and this was kind of a strange session. We gapped down and immediately pushed lower, straight sideways for 30 minutes, almost 30 minutes. Then we turned, curled up, shot back up, filled the value area, crossed the value area, which you can't see on this chart, filled the gap, and then kept going. The afternoon was fairly flat till the very end when we drifted higher. At any rate, this is the NASDAQ side, just so you can see that as well. There's not much else to say here. It looks like more range. It's a decent amount of range considering, but a lot of stocks did not participate in the move. And a lot of stocks still stuck inside of Friday's action. That's a reflection of the volume. So we will see what we get tomorrow. Obviously on Tuesday, we have very little in terms of economic data, housing starts and building permits before the bell. And so that's probably not going to get us going, but just keep in mind that once we get to Wednesday, we've got the CPI, we've got the possibility of some kind of options unraveling move beginning either Wednesday or maybe Thursday. We've got the Fed minutes from the last meeting Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, we've got some data, and then Friday, no data and options expiration. So that's the roadmap for the rest of the week. I wish I had something a little more interesting to show you, but I don't. And maybe through next week, and then after that, things should pick up again. We'll be in the lab helping you out. you have not taken the trial of our services, feel free to do so. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. Thanks.